And today in my meditation, when I was tuning into what is really the highest purpose we can bring into this goal-setting workshop, into this goal-setting container, what is the thing that is needed for our collective? And the word that came to me was wholeness, so that we can pick up all the pieces of ourselves to be a part of the vision we have for 2024. And usually what happens with so many people, there's the good news that everybody is working on the newness, on the new goals, on the new timelines. But often they just limit it to one aspect of themselves and their lives and their desire. And usually it's career goals or relationship goals, or, kind of like the typical ones, which are welcome because they are also parts of us. But what are also the parts of us we kind of put aside? Literally the child that just wants to play more, wants to laugh more, wants to go out to nature more. For me, the one thing I kept seeing in all my visions, I just want to spend more time in nature. And this is how we write a soul story. Not just a story about the things we think we need to accomplish in our lives, but the things that so deeply in our soul, that story is longing to express itself. And that's why so many people are just unfulfilled, because they are writing a story of success, a story of this, a story of that, but their soul story is not coming online. So my desire for us is to really unearth some of these aspects of our soul story, so that in putting the pieces together of our year ahead, that aspect of our being can have as much a voice as the other part that's been speaking very loudly. Because whether we like it or not, I was thinking today about what is patriarchy. Anybody heard the word patriarchy before? We often say and hear we live in a patriarchal world. What does it mean? It's the age of patriarchy, where the masculine is more dominant. And often this is applied to specific gender roles, or the man is more dominant, or this or that. But I was thinking deeply today, actually, its deeper meaning as the mind has been more dominant. So how can we untangle that masculine dominance? Not because it doesn't have a place in our reality, because actually there are places where the masculine is so important, and specifically in our community, I always repeat it. It is very necessary for every woman to also know what her masculine needs, what he wants, how he shows up, how he can also lead. And a big part of vision creation does fuel from our masculine, but it goes back to balance. If we untangle the masculine hold on our desires, our goals, our timelines, and we just allow this breathing space for the feminine to bring more nourishment, bring more love, bring more joy. Joy and play are literally medicine in these times. And you can feel the push against them whenever you're playing or you're joyful, or there's almost like, how dare you? Guilt, shame. Not for everyone, but again, there's an energy that is present in that way. So how can we start to move with both these energies in creating the vision we want? That there is truly just as much space for play, for nourishment, for the aspects that our feminine requires for us to be fully whole, as there is for the parts that wants to set the goal for writing that book. Anyone here want to write a book this year? That's you. Yeah. We have a few. Nasreen, you've already written a few. You have a space, yani. Anybody here has some strong career goals that they want to manifest? Beautiful. Anyone here also aware of some of their more feminine, their feminine soul that has these longings and needs that also want more space in this year ahead? Great. So can we have this exploration today that gives voice to both? That gives voice truly to the part of you that wants to play and travel more and be in nature and connect with people, because aslan, the world we are co-creating and the energy that is moving in the Great Awakening on the planet is calling for that soul energy to have more space, because we've seen where the lack of soul energy takes us. It takes us to just exploiting the earth, separating from each other, setting very, I want to say selfish goals, but I don't mean it as we're not allowed to have goals that are truly feeding the self, but in that they disregard the whole. That actually there are ways for us to nourish collectively. Because most of the things that bring the greatest joy in our life are not when we're alone somewhere in a cave under the house hiding. It's when we're with people and we're singing and gathering and dancing. And this is a memory we all have in our bones, because for thousands of years, that is how we lived. The way we live now is the most unnatural we have ever lived on this planet. In our little homes, walls like boxes, even the angles, everybody in their room, in their home units, separate. So there is this call collectively that our personal goals also weave to what's the world we want to create together.